it's pretty easy in Photoshop to enhance the eyes. And what I'm going to do here is, this is really a snipped image from Facebook. My screen resolution is 120 ppi, so we're going to basically just work with this file. First, what I'm going to do is make a duplicate copy. You can either drag it to where you make a new layer, or you can do just Command or Control J to duplicate the background layer. I like to zoom in pretty deep here. If you see that pixel grid when you're zooming in, it's because you have pixel grid checked off. And go ahead and I don't really like it, so it gets in my way, so I just take it off. Makes it a little clearer. Alright, first thing we do is come over here, make a levels adjustment layer, and I want to lighten up that eye a little bit, so let's make my white point and take my midtones and bring it up. Alright, it's doing the overall image, and that's okay because we're going to take this Control Command I, it's going to hide that adjustment layer, and we're only going to reveal what we want to see. So bring that back up, get this out of my way. Can hit B for the brush tool. I don't know, let's go to about 25%, and flow is 100. Make sure your brush is smooth, no hardness at all. And I'm just going to come in here and just start brushing and lightening up the iris. I don't want to touch the outside edge, this little black edge here. That gives it some nice definition, some depth. And I'm not going to lighten up the pupil, but I will lighten up a little bit of the whites, not in the corners so much, but I will right around here. And if it's not enough, if you take it and you do before and after, you'll get to see where you're making your adjustments. I think 25% is enough. I don't want to make too drastic of a move here. Okay, so this looks pretty good. Let's leave that as that. Do before and after. Alright, now I want to enhance the eye. I want to get a little more detail. So I'm going to make another layer. Adjustment, levels. Go the opposite way. Bring the black point down. And it's okay if you bring it down quite a bit because we're going to pull back on some of this. Alright, and that's good. Control I, Command I. Brush again. We're just going to reveal some of those black points. Pupils 1, a little marking there. Just these little details here. Now, if we didn't get any enhancement on our adjustment layer in this little area right here, I can just come over to my layer itself and burn it. Burn the shadows. 16 is way too high. Let's do about 5%. And bring that brush size down. And I'm just going to burn along this edge right here. It's going to give me a little more detail. And maybe some of the eyebrows a little bit. I know this is not a high-res file, and it's not going to show detail, but when we pull this out, and now you can see before and after. That's before, and that's after. It's slight. It's not a lot. I don't want a lot, but I do want to see that eye. And now the last thing we want to do is throw or enhance that catch light. And we've got I see a couple lights here. So like I said, we've got, pretty low res file. So basically on this one, I don't even know if my first level, that's my level to lighten it up. Let's see if there's anything in there. I can actually bring this up to 100% and bring whatever we have for that. There we go, that'll work. I'm just taking our adjustment layer that we made to lighten up the image. I'm using that to bring back that catch light. That's fine. That'll work. And that's one way with Photoshop to do it on I don't know. I guess low res, high res doesn't matter. But for this particular image that I did for Kelly Chanel out in Madison, Georgia, that's what we got. Now we're going to do the same thing in Lightroom. Enhancing the eyes. I'm going to get rid of this top thing here. Okay, now let's go to Develop Module. We're definitely going to go over to Brush. You could do Iris Enhance. That's quick and easy. I'll show you real quick how to do that. And I'm going to do Control Command plus, zoom in, and then use my navigator, or just come over here and do like 4:1 for the eyes. And even more on this one. Let's do get that right in there. Okay. It's really simple. You've got your feather. You know, I want a nice feather on this. I don't want a hard edge. And I want to make it a little smaller on the brush size. So let's bring it down a little bit. You can also use your mouse scroll wheel to go up and down with the there we go. I've had my Wacom, so I had to move the pen away. Okay. And I also have my slider to do it up and down. So what we're going to do now is we've got the Iris Enhance has a few presets. We got some saturation. We have a black and white image here. What it's going to do is lighten it. See, there's a little bit of an exposure lightening, and that's really pretty much all it's going to do. And you can brush that around. Saturation means nothing in this image because there's no color, so we're only going by exposure. Now once you do that, you can actually adjust it yourself and say, okay, do I want more or less? Unlike Photoshop where you have layers, and you can bring back and blend and whatnot. Here you're going to work with an overlay. If you hit the O key, it's going to tell you where you've been, and you can actually go back, and it's really important not to hit that little edge right there, that edge of the iris. So I'm going to hit the Alt key, make it a minus, and erase, so I do not affect that area. Make sure auto mask is not turned on. You're going to get a real jagged looking overlay here. And let's go back and fill in where we want to. Hit Alt to clean it up a little bit. We don't want to work on where it's not going to be necessary. Okay, so let's hit O again, take that up. And now that we know, basically this is our layer in Lightroom. That overlay is essentially the layer. So now that you know you've got the correct area, now you can play with your adjustments. So if you want to make it brighter, well, I wouldn't suggest going too bright, but let's go right about there. Now I want to make a new one. So let's hit New, and then instead of using the Iris Enhance, I personally like burning and dodging when I'm working in a black and white image like this. So let's just go into to burn. Let's darken. I want to darken some of these eye areas where we can show some more detail. You can see exposure is minus 30. That's default for the burn tool in Lightroom. And now I'm going to bring some detail in here. I'm going to hit this over here. You can hit the eyelashes. You can actually make some more if you want, but I'm not going to give him. He's a boy, so we're not going to go too heavy on the eyelashes. And that's it. I'm just going to hit that little ridge, that little edge of the iris. I'm going to hit the pupil and some minor details right here. So let's pull this back out, and let's do a before and after. Before, after. Before and after. And you can also do the Y key. What I did was I hit the backspace key, and now I can hit the Y key, and I can zoom in, and now you can see it before and after. Let's zoom out a little bit. So, very slight, but just enough. The only thing left is the catch light. So let's go back to 8 to 1, bring that catch light back. I'm hitting my space bar to get my pan hand up there. Now, we are on burn, so let's go to a new and go to dodge to lighten. And this one I'm going to bring up a little bit more. And my flow and my density should be all the way up. Yeah, because I'm just going to burn me a couple of catch lights here. Like I said, this is a very low res, snipped off of Facebook, so I'm really not going to, there we go. I'm not going to care too much about the exact detail. This is just a technique that I want to show you. There it is, before, and just a little enhancement to his eye, and that's it. That's one way to do it in Lightroom, and the previous method was Photoshop. Thanks, Kelly Schnell from Madison for this image. Hope you enjoyed watching.